Hello, friends. Tonight we talk about a moment that has shaken not just a city, not just a nation, but the conscience of the entire world. A moment when the ancient heart of India, Delhi, trembled under the roar of an explosion, and a moment when the world realized once again India does not stand alone. Because when terror tried to break India's spirit, a true friend rose from the sands of Jerusalem and said, "You are not alone, my brother." Yes, tonight we talk about the Delhi Red Fort blast and the rise of the India-Israel alliance, forged not in politics, but in pain, in courage, and in unity. Monday evening, 7 p.m. The traffic lights at Delhi's Subhash Marg blinked red as commuters rushed home. A white Hyundai i20 waited quietly near the Red Fort metro station, and in the very next breath, boom. A fireball ripped through the evening calm, windows shattered, sirens screamed, people ran, and the echo of terror once again tried to challenge the world's largest democracy. 9 lives lost instantly, over 20 people injured, their screams mixing with the sound of collapsing glass and scattering metal. For a few seconds, it felt like time stopped in the capital of a billion dreams, but then India moved. As panic spread, Delhi's emergency services rushed to the scene. Firefighters battled the flames. Police cordoned off the entire Red Fort area. NIA teams were on alert within minutes. And far away in the Himalayas, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was on a state visit to Bhutan, received the message. That night, the Prime Minister's voice broke the silence of grief. This tragic incident in Delhi has shaken every Indian heart. The culprits behind this attack will not, I repeat, will not escape justice. Back in Delhi, the scene was one of chaos and heartbreak. The roads that usually echoed with the hum of life now lay still, covered in glass and blood. News networks flashed the same question: who did this? And why? Right in the heart of India's heritage. Within hours, the government handed over the case to the National Investigation Agency, NIA, India's top counter-terror task force. Back home, the NIA was closing in. 3 key suspects emerged: Dr. Mujamil Ahmed from Faridabad, Shaheen Said from Lucknow, and Adil Radha from Saharanpur. Their connection? A digital network linked to the Pakistan-based terror group Jaish-e-Mohammed. From Mujamil's house, agents recovered 2,900 kilograms of explosive chemicals, assault rifles, and encrypted communication devices linked to foreign servers. The NIA confirmed this was no lone wolf attack. This was a coordinated operation, part of a larger pattern designed to destabilize India before the 2025 winter session of Parliament. But this time, India's message was loud and clear. You attack us, we hunt you down. At a press conference, India's defense minister addressed the media. Let me assure my fellow citizens, the guilty will be brought to justice and will not be spared under any circumstances. This is not just a crime against a city. This is a crime against humanity. And as those words echoed, something began to shift, not just in India, but in the world's perception of India. This wasn't the India of the 90s that suffered silently. This was new India, strategic, prepared, and backed by global alliances built on trust. It is said that true friendship is tested not in peace, but in war. And as Delhi bled, Jerusalem wept, not as a spectator, but as a brother. India and Israel, 2 of the world's oldest civilizations, 2 modern democracies surrounded by instability, have always had one common enemy: terror. Their alliance goes beyond arms deals or political handshakes. It's about shared survival. India uses Israeli drones to monitor its borders. Israel uses Indian software to protect its cities. Both nations understand that in today's world, security isn't a choice. It's an ecosystem. And when Modi and Netanyahu speak, it's not just diplomacy. It's 2 civilizations reminding the world that light still wins over darkness. After the Delhi blast, both governments reportedly activated a joint counter-terror working group. The goal? To exchange intelligence faster, neutralize threats sooner, and ensure that no terror group can exploit the digital age to hide behind fake networks or proxies. But it's not only about strategy, it's about spirit. In both Delhi and Jerusalem, candles burned side by side. At India Gate, people laid flowers for the victims. At the Western Wall, Israelis prayed for the families who lost their loved ones in Delhi. In those quiet prayers, a new alliance was born, one that terror will never understand. When Prime Minister Modi landed back in Delhi, there was no grand welcome, no media show. He drove straight to the hospital, straight to the injured one by one. He met the victims, children, workers, commuters who had just been at the wrong place at the wrong time. He held their hands. He promised justice. And for a moment, the political leader became just another grieving Indian. That night, he said, "India may cry, but India will never bow. We will rebuild, we will recover, and we will respond." Across television screens, those words became a rallying cry, because everyone in India knew when the tricolor flutters over Red Fort again, it will not just represent freedom, it will represent defiance. In a joint statement, India and Israel didn't name any country, but the message was unmistakable. Those who harbor, fund, or justify terrorism must be held accountable. Behind those words was a new era of cooperation: cyber intelligence, drone warfare, AI surveillance, and shared defense research. The India-Israel partnership was no longer limited to contracts. It had become a moral alliance. Analysts in Washington called it the democratic iron wall, two nations building a shield against global terror, and as Western capitals watched, they began to realize something profound. The war on terror doesn't always start with missiles. Sometimes it starts with unity. Weeks after the Delhi blast, life began to return. Red Fort reopened, streets were cleaned, traffic lights blinked again. But something deeper had changed. A new resilience had been born. For the families who lost their loved ones, the pain remains. But so does the pride that their sacrifice has united two great nations in purpose. Israel sent a delegation of security experts to assist in post-blast analysis, and India, in return, offered support to Israel's tech startups building anti-drone systems for both countries. Together, they turned tragedy into collaboration. So friends, tonight's story was not just about a blast. It was about a bond, a friendship forged in fire, sealed in trust, and blessed by history. When the world asks, who stands with India? The answer will echo from Delhi to Jerusalem. We do, always. So, to the terrorists who think they can break nations, remember this: you can shatter buildings, you can silence streets. India and Israel, two names, one resolve: justice, courage, light. Multiple raids began simultaneously across Delhi, Faridabad, Lucknow, and Saharanpur. The early evidence pointed to a terrifying possibility: a new urban terror module with connections across borders. Investigators found digital detonators, Pakistani-registered IP addresses, and traces of military-grade explosives not available in any civilian market. It wasn't just an act of terror. It was a message. But little did the masterminds know, India was already listening. The blast didn't just shake Delhi. It sent shockwaves through embassies across the world. Condemnations poured in, from the United States, from France, from Japan. Every nation spoke against terror, but one message stood out: from Jerusalem. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wrote on X,